They'll never admit it, but every woman has weaknesses. Not flaws in the way you think, not imperfections in her character, but soft spots in her psychology. Emotional triggers that shape how she reacts to you. And if you understand them, you stop being the man who chases. You become the man she can't stop thinking about. This isn't manipulation. This is awareness. Because right now, you may feel like you're always the one giving, always the one proving yourself, always the one trying harder. And she seems to hold the power. But the truth is, women aren't as invincible as they act. Behind every confident smile, behind every "I don't care," there are subtle emotional switches. And when you know where those switches are, you change the game. Before we break down these hidden weaknesses, I want to hear from you. What's the one thing about women you still can't figure out? Drop it in the comments, because your experience might be exactly what another man needs to hear. Why does this happen? It's simple psychology. Men and women are wired differently. You crave respect, certainty, and loyalty. Women crave emotional security, attention, and the feeling that they are truly seen. And here's the paradox. Most men keep giving women exactly what makes them lose interest. Constant reassurance, constant availability, constant chasing. When in reality, women are drawn to strength they can't fully figure out, to presence that isn't always there at their command, to a man who doesn't crumble when she pulls away. That's why so many guys get hurt. You keep thinking, if I give her more love, she'll stay. But in her psychology, that isn't how attraction works. So now, let's uncover the 7 emotional weaknesses women carry, the ones they never talk about, but the ones that decide whether she respects you or forgets you.
Here's the truth. A woman might act strong, independent, and untouchable, but deep down, she has a constant hunger to feel emotionally seen. Not just noticed for her looks, not just complimented for her body, but truly understood for who she is. That's why she'll test you. That's why she'll push your buttons, because she wants to see if you'll break or if you'll stay grounded while still noticing the little things. Think about it. How many times has she said, "You don't listen to me," even when you thought you were listening? It's not about the words, it's about your presence. And here's where her weakness lies. When you learn to give attention in doses, not endlessly, you leave her wanting more. When you master silence instead of begging for her time, you flip the balance. She starts chasing your attention.
She'll never say this out loud, but every woman compares herself to others. Her looks, her confidence, her worth in your eyes. And here's the weakness. She doesn't want to admit she feels threatened. Even the most confident woman feels it when she notices your eyes aren't always glued to her. Not in a disrespectful way, not in a player way, but in the subtle truth that she isn't the center of your universe. It bothers her. It shakes her. And if you carry yourself like a man who can be admired by others, who has options, who doesn't cling, her fragile ego begins to fight for you. This doesn't mean playing games. It means building yourself up so strong, so grounded, that she knows losing you would be a mistake she can't afford. And that's just the beginning, because the next weaknesses go even deeper, where her need for validation collides with her fear of losing you. And when you understand those, you'll see how much hidden power you've been giving away all along.
You see, the first 2 weaknesses are surface level.
attention, ego. But the deeper you go, the more you realize women live in a constant tug of war between wanting control and secretly craving a man who can't be controlled. And that brings us to the third weakness.
You've probably noticed this already. In the heat of an argument, when you're trying to be rational, she'll twist words, raise her voice, maybe even cry. And you stand there thinking, why can't we just solve this like adults? But here's the truth. Her emotions are her reality. She doesn't filter through logic first. She feels first. And that's her weakness. Because in moments when she's overwhelmed, her emotions run faster than her ability to process truth. That's why she can say things she doesn't mean. That's why she can storm out, then text you hours later as if nothing happened. Now here's where most men lose the battle. They either chase after her storm, desperate to fix it, or they explode right back, feeding the chaos. But if you can stay calm, unshaken, she feels something rare. She feels safe. She feels your strength without you even raising your voice. And ironically, she'll come back closer because your calmness proves you're the anchor she can't find anywhere else. Her weakness is her storm. Your strength is your silence in the middle of it.
Listen closely. No matter how beautiful she is, no matter how many compliments she gets, no matter how many likes flood her Instagram, it's never enough. Because a woman's self-worth is tied to how she feels in the moment, and feelings fade fast. That's why she can be praised by 100 men online, but one cold response from you can shake her confidence. That's why she can glow after a date night, but still wake up wondering if you'll love her the same tomorrow. Her need for validation is endless. And here's the twist. Most men fuel it by overgiving. They drown her in compliments, texts, and approval. And instead of making her secure, it makes her take you for granted. But when you hold back just enough, when you let her earn your praise, your affection, your attention, your validation becomes the most valuable thing in her world. Because she knows it's real. It's not desperate. It's not cheap. It's something she has to keep fighting for. And that's her weakness. She craves validation, but she craves it most from the man who doesn't hand it out easily. Now let me pause here, because if you're listening to this, I know what you've probably been through. You've given your all. You've texted first. You've bent over backward just to keep her happy. And instead of being appreciated, you ended up feeling invisible. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're just wired to love deeply. But what nobody told you is this: the more you overgive, the more invisible you become. And the more you hold back with quiet confidence, the more magnetic you become. Because women don't fall for men who chase endlessly. They fall for men who stand still, unshaken, grounded in their own worth. And right now, that's the man you're learning to become. The next weaknesses go even deeper. One reveals her hidden fear of abandonment. The other shows why the man who upgrades his life always makes her regret leaving. And once you see those truths, you'll never play the same role in relationships again.
By now, you see the pattern. Every weakness reveals something women try to hide. Behind the confidence, behind the smiles, behind the "I don't need anyone," there are cracks in the armor. And when you recognize them, not to exploit, but to understand, you stop being the one who's always losing. You start being the one who sets the tone. Now let's dive deeper, because the next two weaknesses are the ones most men never see until it's too late.
Even if she doesn't admit it, Every woman has a hidden fear of being left behind, of being replaced, of not being enough. It's why she asks questions like, "Do you still love me? Are you talking to someone else?" Or why she suddenly pulls away when things seem too good, because deep down, she fears it won't last. This weakness is rooted in psychology, attachment theory, childhood wounds. But for you, what matters is this. Her fear of abandonment is the reason she tests your strength. If you panic every time she threatens to leave, or if you beg when she withdraws, she loses respect. Because in her mind, you've already proven her fear true, that you're the one who needs her more than she needs you. But if you stay centered, if you can let her walk away without losing your balance, her fear turns into regret. Because nothing triggers her weakness more than realizing the man she left behind didn't collapse without her.
Here's a truth most men never realize until too late. A woman might leave you, doubt you, or even disrespect you. But the moment you level up, she notices. It could be you hitting the gym, getting your money right, building your circle of influence, or simply becoming more disciplined than you were before. Why? Because women are biologically wired to respond to growth. They may not say it, but evolution has hard-coded them to seek the strongest provider, the most capable leader, the man who can adapt and rise. And here's the weakness. Once she sees you glowing up, once she sees other people respecting you, once she realizes you've outgrown the version of yourself she took for granted, she feels the sting. That sting is regret. That sting is attraction reignited. That sting is weakness. And this is where most men slip, because they level up just to prove a point to her. But the real power is when you level up for yourself. Not to win her back, not to post revenge pictures, but because you finally realize you were always capable of more. And when you embrace that, women sense it. They can't ignore it. And the one who doubted you will suddenly start circling back, wondering if she made the biggest mistake of her life. Think about it. How many times have you been broken after she left? How many nights did you replay conversations in your head, wondering what you did wrong? How many times did you say, "If only I was better, she wouldn't have left"? But here's the twist. It was never about being perfect. It was about being strong. And the moment you choose strength over chasing, silence over begging, growth over desperation, you trigger her deepest weaknesses at once. Her need for attention, her fragile ego, her endless hunger for validation, her fear of abandonment, her inability to resist a man who rises above. Do you see the shift? She doesn't hold the power anymore. You do. Because the man who doesn't need her is the man every woman secretly fears and secretly desires. But we're not finished yet. There's still one final weakness, one she hides behind her pride. And when you see it, everything about the game changes forever.
We've uncovered 6 already. 6 emotional triggers women try to keep hidden. But the 7th, it's the one that ties them all together. Because no matter how strong she acts, no matter how many walls she builds, no matter how independent she claims to be, this weakness never leaves her.
It's not your money, not your looks, not even your charm.
It's your self-respect. A man who respects himself sets boundaries. He doesn't tolerate disrespect. He doesn't beg for scraps of attention. He doesn't stay where he's unwanted. And that's the one weakness women can't shake. Because when you carry yourself with self-respect, you burn an imprint into her memory. She may leave. She may explore. She may think she's moving on. But late at night, when she's alone, she remembers the man who walked away instead of crawling back. The man who didn't bend just to keep her around. The man whose silence said louder words than her arguments ever could. And deep down she feels it. Respect for you, regret for losing you, and a lingering question that will haunt her. Did I just let go of the best man I'll ever meet? That's her final weakness. Because no matter what happens, she cannot unsee a man who values himself above everything else.
Here's the beautiful irony. When you stop chasing women, they start chasing you. When you stop begging for their love, they feel the absence and crave it more. When you focus on your growth, they notice the glow and realize they're missing out. And when you stop being afraid of losing her, that's the moment she's most afraid of losing you. Silence becomes your weapon. Self-respect becomes your armor. Growth becomes your revenge. You don't have to argue. You don't have to explain. You don't even have to prove anything. Because your presence, your discipline, your energy, it speaks louder than words. And the very weaknesses she once used to control you now pull her back toward you. So hear this clearly. You were never weak. You were never not enough. You simply didn't understand the psychology of what was happening. But now you do. Now you see that her power was never real. It was only the power you gave away when you forgot your worth. Take it back. Stand tall. Respect yourself more than you respect her moods. Build your body. Sharpen your mind. Stack your goals higher than her attention. Because the truth is this: the moment you stop chasing is the moment she starts remembering. The moment you walk away is the moment she begins to follow. And the moment you put yourself first is the moment every woman sees you differently. You don't need to chase love. You need to become the man love can't ignore. Now I'll leave you with this question. Which of these 7 weaknesses have you seen the most in your relationships? And more importantly, how are you going to use this knowledge to stop chasing and start respecting yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Your story might be the one that helps another man take back his power.